Am I live? No idea. I hope so. I forgot to close the door. It's okay if you're there. I don't know. Anyone there? I don't know. As usual, confused.com. Ignore absolutely what is on the thingamajig on the top. I didn't finish quite setting up, and that's why this is on there. And now I'm trying to actually find the comments bit to see if there is comments and to see if anyone has signed in on not signed in. We don't sign in here, do we? We just turn up. Hi, Helen. Yes. Good. It's okay. And it's this time the orientation is right. I was like fiddling, wondering, because last time it was portrait, wasn't it? And then I had to come off, restart the video, and then something else. I don't know. But yeah, at least we've got the video the right way around. So that is good. Let me move this. Like I said, I just left stuff on my desk and didn't finish setting up, except now I have absolutely no idea where I have put the tags. Welcome to my, oh, they're under here. Here we go. They're under here. Phew. Am I crooked? I'm just going to shift it a teeny tiny bit because it's kind of crooked and it's sort of kind of annoying me. But I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So move it this way, move it that way. I've probably moved it the wrong way. Oh no, I moved it the right way. You know when things are sort of mirrored when you're seeing something, and then that sort of throws you a little bit in the sense now in which direction am I moving it, because more often than not I usually move it the wrong way around. So at least this time round it's I moved it in the right direction. I'm not sure where I'm heading actually with this conversation, but it's going somewhere. I'm doing tags, and I prepared this actually a lot earlier than I normally do my prep work. So I'm kind of like looking at it thinking, what am I doing? I mean, not really a surprise there, is it? Like, I never know what I'm doing. My comments are not loading, so I cannot see of the comments and stuff, so I'm kind of a little bit thrown, and whether I'm supposed to answer any questions. So I'm going to have a little play and see if I can find that, and I'm just going to basically waffle on, and I'll probably answer the questions later because it just is not letting me view the comments. So what I thought today we will do is, you can see the tags I have up here, and I thought it would be really nice to have a play with the colored parchment. I can't remember if we have used colored parchment before, but I just thought it would be really lovely to use colored parchment and create a background, and on top of the background basically put another tag. I mean, why not, right? Tags are always good to have. Tag on top of tag on top of tag. So thought, let's do that and see where it takes us. Now I'm going to work slightly differently with my parchment, and I'll show you the tag I have cut out. I'm using the tag that is the usual set, but I'm using the second one. And actually I put my tag in with the wrong plate combination. It's kind of slightly bent. It cuts, but it's just slightly curved upside down kind of thing, sort of thing. So that's what's happened to it. Look at that. I mean, that's just like so weird. But thankfully it cuts. So I'm using this size, which is the second one. Plates wise, what you need is you need any background plate, and you can see on these tags I've used 3 different background plates. Any background plate for, oops, making a whole load of noise there. Any of them will work, to be honest. And I'm using the tag itself from what, I can't remember what the plate is called. When I set up the Facebook Live thing, I had mentioned which plate it is. It's this one here. Nope, let's move it this way. It's this one here for the tag here, this tag here. It's this one there that I will. But, you know, if you don't have this plate, that's absolutely fine again. I've always said, you know, it's not about using exactly the same things I'm using. Use what you have in your stash. So if you don't have a tag, create a panel, a thin panel. It doesn't matter. As long as it fits on your tag, it doesn't matter what you use. It can be just a rectangular panel with some sort of nice image in the middle kind of thing. So back to these. So those are the 3 tags, and I've used 3 different backgrounds, and I did that basically to show you it can be any background. Now looking at the parchment itself, you know, the parchment has one side that's darker, one side that's lighter, paler, and basically the color has been flooded on this side. It's color flooded on this side. It's a little bit like when we do our coloring with the B pencils at the back. You know, we put our color on the back. So this, the brighter side that the color is on, is the back of your work, which means when you emboss on the front, all your work will be white. Now, on these, I will show you. So on this one, I did it, the middle one, I did it the traditional way, where, you know, I had the brighter side facing me when I embossed. That's why the front of the work has, the front is it's white outlines. Compared to, if you look at these two, these ones, I used it with the I used it the other way around so that it was color flooded on the front, because I wanted to create a background. I didn't want my background to take over my tag. I wanted my tag to be the highlight, basically. So I wanted, you know, the embossing and everything in the background to be a little bit muted. Am I making sense? I'm not sure I'm making sense, but I hope I'm making sense anyway. So I've used it the other way around, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to use it the way I have used it here, because I feel that my tag here is competing, the white work on it is competing with the white work on the tag itself. So I'm going to change it a little bit, you know, and we're going to do it this way, where the background stays in the background and the focus becomes the tag itself. Now, on these two, again, there's 2 variations. On this one, I have debossed. Basically, deboss means I've embossed from the front. So all your embossed lines goes inwards as opposed to outwards. So that's the difference between these two, is this one is a deboss, this one is an emboss from the back, but both of them have the brighter side facing us. Like, that's the front of our work. That's why it's got the muted color of the parchment itself as opposed to white. Now, another difference between the two is this one, I have left it debossed as is, but on this one, because I did an emboss, I quite liked it, the emboss, but I wanted to give the emboss work a little bit more character. So then what I've gone ahead and done is I've just very slightly rubbed off the color of the parchment using sandpaper. Which sounds a bit harsh on parchment, doesn't it? Using sandpaper on parchment, it is a bit harsh. Oh no, this way. Which way am I going? No, I'm going this way. This is fun. Which way am I? This way, that way? No, that was the wrong way. Hopefully this is in the right position now. But if you have a look, it's got tones of white and greens and things. So by rubbing the sandpaper ever so gently, you can create that. And I quite liked that. So I'm going to actually show you how to do this one with the sandpaper. Obviously, you don't need to use sandpaper if you're not comfortable with it. You may not have sandpaper. What I've used is I've used one of these paper strip things, which is available, I'm pretty sure, from ClarityStamp. So have a look on the website. It's so you can, when you're using color pencils and things, it helps you just bring your pencil back to a point without sharpening it too often. So I'm going to go with that, and let's see where it takes us. I am using a purple one, a purple parchment. So I'm going to start with the background first, and I'm going to use one of the backgrounds that's already on the plate itself. But first, let's give our tag an outline. So this is the corresponding Groovi plate that goes with the tag. So like I said, because I want my background to be sort of in the back, I don't want it as white on the front. I am going to use it with the pale side facing me, so that this is going to be the back of my work, which, under normal circumstances, it would have been the other way around. But for this one, I want to have this as my back. So I'm just sticking it down, sticking the parchment down with some Groovi tabs. And I'm going to run my tumble dryer sheet over that, so my tool glides easier. And because I want it as a, oopsie daisy, come back, as I want it as a background, I don't want very white. Well, it's not going to be white anyway because we're working with the parchment the other way around. But I don't want deep outlines. I want a soft outline because it's in the background. So I'm going to use the Groovi number 2. Sorry, Pergamano 1.5. But if you're using your Groovi tools, it's going to be the number 2. And I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to emboss the middle outline. So it's the second largest outline. You can emboss both if you wish, but I'm going to emboss just the one. So I'm going to move, hold on. What am I doing? I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to turn on the light wave and hopefully it's not going to flicker. If it's flickering, please, just give me a second because my thing is, no, it's not flickering. That's good. So I am embossing the second outline. And like I said, you can do both if you wish. I'm using the 1.5 because I want a soft outline. I do not want a sort of a sharp outline. I want it nice and soft because this is my background. So I'm just moving the tabs out of the way. so I can finish the embossing along there. And that's all I'm going to need from this plate itself. And now for the background. And for the background, I'm going to use the leaf one. I really love this plate. It's just so pretty. So I'm just going to stick those two together basically, just so that the plate doesn't move as I am embossing. And let me just see if is there any questions. It's such a shame I can't hear you guys, because like you know, if there is questions, I cannot something or another. I really need to learn vocabulary, don't I? It helps to put the groove side up, definitely. Otherwise, you cannot emboss. So groove side us facing you is definitely a good idea. Okay. So still working with the dull side up. So there you go. So can I just show you? So this was the side we were working on. So this is the back, the dull side, but our front is going to be this. And if I show you that, can you see it's taken a lighter shade of the parchment itself, which is what we want. I mean, you may like it with the white outline, and that's absolutely fine. You can use it that way if you prefer. There is really, for today's, or ever in my case, there is never a right or wrong in anything I try and teach. It's just like, go with the flow, see what you like. Main thing is enjoy it. Enjoy, you know, what you're doing. So I'm still sticking to the Pergamano 1.5. If you're using Groovi, you're going to use the number 2, because we just want a soft outline. So, and there was a reason. I mean, other than the fact I absolutely love this plate. It's a nice quick one to use. I used that little floral one for one of the demos, and it took such a long time to emboss it out. And I'm thinking, you know, normally we're here for over 2 hours. If I was to use that plate, oopsie daisy, at the same, no, if I was to use that plate and demonstrate everything else that I want to, we'll be here for a lot longer. So while I lose myself in doing this, you guys just chat amongst yourselves. That's if you're not creating at the same time. I just love how you know, the embossing tool just flows on this plate. There's just, oopsie daisy, didn't stick that very flat. There's just something really nice about how it glides with the scrolls and the leaves. They're sort of, you know, the perfect shape. Mr. Leaf. So who is crafting along? I mean, because I didn't specify the background plates, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, what everyone uses. And also I'm aware, you know, not everyone will have the plate I'm using for the extra tag. So some of you are going to have to create those panels So it'll be real nice mix of tags, I think. So it'll be really nice to see. I look forward to seeing what you've used, Helen. I think everyone is going to use different plates. I think, you know, when I was actually setting it up, it was in the middle of something else that I was doing, and I didn't take all my plates with me into the kitchen. I was cooking, and I didn't take all the plates. So in between stirring stuff, I was typing stuff up, and I was just too lazy to come into the workroom and look for the plates I had used. So I didn't get around to putting down which background plates I was using. And you know, in some ways that's a good thing, because I think it encourages everyone to use something different. So hold on, let me move this out of the way, stick that there, because I haven't done that bit. What plate number are those leaves? I'm sure I have it. And the plate number is 40008. It's an A5 square plate. I think I may have used it once before for one of the tags. It's one of the first few Groovi plates that came out, so it's quite an old plate. It's, well, like I said, it's one of the older ones, the first ones that came out. And I keep going back to it over and over again. It's just so pretty. So that's the tag, and I'm going to move this plate out of the way. And just to show you what it looks like on the front. Hi, Kathy. Can you see? It's taken the, it's sort of the, it's a lighter color of the parchment itself. And that's what I wanted. I wanted my background to be a subtle color of the parchment as opposed to the white on this, because I do feel the two are competing. You may like it, and that is absolutely fine. So you can do it this way if you wish. But for me, I wanted it to stay in the background. So I've used it, and you can see the back has got all the white work. And traditionally, we would have worked the other way around. So I'm going to come back to this one later, because I want to put the plates and things out of the way before we do all the other things on the pieces. So I'm not knocking things over and dropping things. So at least if I move the plates out of the way. So I'll come back to do the techniques on both pieces afterwards. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to emboss this tag on regular parchment. Now this is really useful tag, because we get to use up all these teeny tiny, not teeny tiny, all these thin pieces of parchment we have left over from our trimmings and things. Like we can use them for, you know, 3D flowers and butterflies and all that, but the tag is absolutely perfect size to use it up. So now on this piece, what I'm going to do is all the circles, all these little circles, I am going to do, I'm going to emboss with the 1.5, all these circles, and then, well, basically all the circles, and everything else with the number 1, Pergamano or Groovi number 1. So that I know me, I tend to forget. Thank you, Sue, for posting the full code of the plate, the leafy swirly thingamajig. So I don't forget that I am doing these with the 1.5 or Groovi number 2. I'm going to do them first, and then I'll do everything else with the 1 afterwards, because I normally forget, and then I end up embossing absolutely everything with 1, and usually that's not my intention, but I do. So that's why I'm going to do these few things first with the 1.5. You may have different plates, so you know, you decide what you want as white work, if you want to do any extra white work on yours, or if you're just going to keep it simple and color everything, then you know, go ahead and emboss everything with the number 1. So now I've shifted to the number 1 tool, and I'm going to emboss the rest of the design with this tool. You know, I get the feeling I'm not sitting at the right position for me, and I keep knocking my elbow on things. Oopsie daisy. I'm jumping here, there, and everywhere. I should really just, you know, stick to from up, down, or down, up, or something. But I'm just jumping here, there, and everywhere. So let's do all these first. I don't know how many of you have this plate. It's a pretty one. Oh, my laptop switched off. That's not a good thing, is it? Because my phone is charging off my laptop. Okay, you continue doing this while I sort my laptop out. This is so funny. No, it had just gone to sleep because of the time thing it's on, I guess. Normally things don't go to sleep if they're playing, are they? So why would it have gone to sleep is what I don't know. Is there a book, you know, Technology for Dummies? Because I could do with it. This morning I went to get a prescription for my mom, and it wasn't ready, which is absolutely fine. The problem with that is that then I start going around the grocery store, and when you haven't had breakfast, for example, you start putting things in your basket that you don't really need. And next thing I know, my basket is getting fuller and fuller. So I go back out. I leave the basket inside, obviously, the shop. Get me a trolley. I shift everything from the basket to the trolley. And I managed to fill up the whole trolley in about 15 minutes. And needless to say, obviously it had a lot of junk food that I really am trying to stay off. On the tag, let me just say this first before I forget. On the tag, I am not embossing these diddly-doos. Yes, I'm leaving them off. I'm only embossing up to where the scallops are. Yes, you may want to. Does it fit? It should fit. I'm pretty sure the whole thing would fit. yeah, if you decide to do the whole thing with these diddly doos, it does fit on the tag. So if you're using this plate, you're more than, you know, welcome to. I mean, I give you permission. Anyway, so I ended up filling up the whole trolley. And generally, you know, well, not generally, previously, until a year or two ago, I have never liked cherries. But in the last couple of years, somehow cherries seem to fall into my basket quite often. And as I was leaving, I was like, oh, I could really do with, what's that cake called? Black Forest? Is it Black Forest that has cherries in them? I was so very tempted to go back in and buy me a Black Forest cake, but I was really good. I didn't. I went to change my books. Only wanted, yeah, I know what you mean, Jackie. That's what happened to me. I only went for a prescription. Hi, Carol. Once I remember I went to go get the prescription, and it was funny. I forgot the prescription. I practically bought everything in the shop, but forgot to bring the prescription home, which is like really, really bad. It's really bad. Well, it's not. It's quite funny actually, but okay, I'm going to move the plates and things out of the way so that I don't drop them and break them and things. I've got so many plates I have actually dropped, and they've chipped on the corners because in my mom's conservatory, it's a tiled floor. So I have chipped a lot of plates, and because they're like acrylic plates, when they chip on corners, they are very sharp. So, you know, it's something that I forget. It's sharp. And let's continue with this one since it's out here already. And we're going to emboss. I'm trying to find my embossing mat. What did I do with my embossing mat? Did I forget to put it out? I'm going to use the pink one. You may want to use the Groovi one. It's absolutely up to you. I'm going to use the pink one. And I'm going to emboss the circles of these flowers. So when we emboss circles, let's do it here. When we emboss circles, that's too big, to be honest, for the tool I'm using. But since I've put it there, I am going to go ahead with it. I'll just change to a bigger ball tool. And when we emboss circle, we go up and down, across, and then fill it round. We don't, when it's a circle, we don't just do this, because we end up with this little black hole, a bit like a polo. We end up with that black hole. So when we do a circle, we always go up and down, across, and then fill it in a circle, in round fashion kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do with all the circles on here. So I'm using, for these ones, I'm using the 1.5. If you're using the Groovi tool, then, you know, try the number 3. I think that would be a better size. No, I don't have mine out. If you think Groovi 3 is too big, then go, then you know, go down to the number 2. So I'm going up and down, across, and round. I'm hoping I'm not off screen, actually. She says, still continuing and not checking to see if she is or not. Okay, look up and have a look. No, video's gone off. Can't have a look. Am I off screen, someone? Video's not showing for me. It's perfect. Thank you, Helen. I should put an X, shouldn't I? So up and down, across, and round. I'm going to go over this twice, just to get, you know, really nice white round circles. Depending on how white yours is, you may not need to go over it again, or if it's quite light, you may need to go over it 3 times. I mean, these are really tiny, but even though they're tiny, I'm still using the same 1.5. Oh, the quiet. Actually, I'm being nosy. I'm trying to listen to what the neighbor is saying, which is really bad, isn't it? That's bad. I think she's trying to get the dog to get the ball. And for a second, I got distracted. Well, it was a bit more than a few seconds, actually. I was listening to see if he actually brought the ball. What I'm gonna do is on the original ones, I have actually glittered these. That was basically me being lazy and not wanting to take too long. So I was embossing it this way. I've turned it 180 degrees, and I'm going to emboss my circles one more time. So on the original tags that I did, as I was saying, I was being ultra lazy, and I didn't want to take too long with the embossing and all that. So I basically just cheated and put glitter all over them. And I mean, everyone knows I love glitter anyway. I just look for excuses to glitter the whole world, not just my artwork. But on this one, I may not glitter. I will see. I don't know. We will see. I say that, and then obviously I always get tempted to glitter. So I probably shouldn't say I will not glitter. And the last ones. For the flower centers, although I have embossed it, to be honest, I didn't really need to emboss it because I'm going to stitch a bead for the flower center. And by stitching a bead for the center, what it will do is it will attach my parchment, my 2 pieces of parchment for me without the use of brads. So there we go. That's what we have so far. And let's put a bit of color on that. Does anyone need me to slow down a bit? Because all of you may be working on different designs. I'm going to just grab a sip of water. Let me know if you need me to slow down. Can I show you my water bottle? Let me show you my water bottle. Look at my water bottle. How pretty is that? I mean, am I gonna turn it upside down? Is the water gonna spill out? Those move about, the sequins in there. But I'm not gonna bend, I'm not gonna turn it over too much in case it spills over everything. But isn't that pretty? It's all sequins in, it's all pink and sparkly. And if that doesn't encourage me to drink more water, I'm sorry, nothing else is going to encourage me to drink more water. Where did I get the bottle from? I have absolutely no idea. I think my sister bought it for me while I was in the States. I'm pretty sure that's where it's from. Okay, am I waiting for everyone or am I not? Or should I just continue? I mean, next all we're going to do is do a bit of coloring. So I'm going to color on the back. So I've turned it round to the back, and I'm going to use both felt pens and B pencils. So I'm going to start with the felt pen. So I'm using the Perga Colors Exclusives, and my parchment is purple. Yes. And I was like, what color shall I use? Shall I go with like normal purple and blue, purple and, I don't know, pink? But then I thought, no, I don't feel like it. Should I use orange? I did think about orange actually as a complete contrast color. But then I opted for brown. Don't ask me why. I don't usually use brown. And I think for that reason, I thought, let's use brown. Now, on most of the tags, let me put this, I'll show you color combinations actually first. So on this one, on the green parchment, I've got the blue. On this one, I've got orange and red. And on this one, I've got purple. You can do it green on green or purple on purple, you know, have it the same color if you so wish. I just decided to have it just a contrast color, just because why not? And I like color, so any excuse to use more color, right? So on the back, I'm going to color the leaves with the Perga Color Exclusive. I'm using the brown. I'm going to just stick to the one color. It's number 21. And because it's on the back, if I go on the white outline, it's not going to matter on the front. On the front, the white will still be white. I'm really hoping brown is a nice neutral color. I don't know. Maybe I should have tried a little bit on the side and put it over the purple to see whether it works or not. It's okay. So I'm turning my work so my hand doesn't go on the bit I have just colored. The Perga Colors Exclusive dry pretty quickly anyway. But still, it's better to be a little bit cautious and safe and give it a couple of seconds to dry. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't put my wrist on it. Do I like brown? No, I don't like brown. On cards, I mean. I don't know, I just feel that there's so many pretty colors out there. Why would I use brown or gray? But then when we think of color combinations, like, you know, black and white or gray and white, you know, with the black parchment or the gray parchment, it's always such a striking card. So I probably should use these sort of natural colors a bit more. So there we go. Now these three, put that out of the way. In these three, I'm going to Pico cut those out to create windows, because that will bring in the background parchment through. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, because what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of color in the background using the B pencil. The B pencil I'm going to use is B3, but I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to jump to this piece while this one dries a little bit before I go, you know, blending the color and smooshing everything. You know, like I said just now, that on this piece, I wanted it in the background. I wanted it subtle, and you can see if I put it on there, the background is very subtle. Yes, the background is going to be very subtle compared to this piece. But on this piece, I wanted to pick a few highlight points, just create a bit of contrast in the outline. So I took my sandpaper block thingamajig, and all I did is I rubbed it. The other thing that could work is, hold on, I'm coming back on this, is one of these. Some of you may have these sandpaper blocks. That would work as well. I haven't tried it, so I'm about to try it. So wish me luck just in case it doesn't work. Here goes. So don't try it unless it works. So if I was to use this one, basically all I'm doing is just very gently. I don't want it everywhere, just in certain places. And can you see it's taking off the color a little bit? Yes, and that's going to create contrast. So it does work. So if you have one of these, and I'm not pressing at all, I'm just literally over the top, just rubbing it in little round movement. Now for me, this is what I had used for the original, but again, using it flat and just very gently taking off some of that color. And you can see how, you know, it's picking up various points and things, and I think that looks really pretty. It just gives the parchment a couple of tones, a few tones in the purples and whites and everything. If you press too hard, it can scratch the parchment itself. So very gently. And I don't know how many of you are going to be brave enough to try this. Maybe not on this piece, but on another piece, have a go. Especially if you have some sandpaper, have a go. I'm not going to do too much because I do want some of the purple there. So there you go. And if I put this on there, now it's picking up some of the white on the tag, on white highlights on this tag. So it's sort of everything blends, not blends, everything goes together kind of thing. I don't know what the fancy word is for it. Yes, so that's fine. I'm going to put that back on the side. I don't want to rub any more on there. I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to put that back, and I'm going to bring this back, and now that's pretty dry. She says, can you imagine if it was not dry and I did that? That would be so funny. Well, it wouldn't be funny for a while, but then eventually it would be funny, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm going to I'm going to take my B pencil. This is B3 because I've used brown. I'm going to use brown for my background. And I don't want to color the whole thing, just various, because I want the natural color of the parchment to remain as well. So I don't want to color the whole tag, just a little bit in places. At the rate I'm going, it's probably going to end up being the whole tag. Do you know what? I want it a bit dark. I'm going to use it, go over in a few more. Just make the color a bit darker. And you're going to need your dorso oil, your blending nibs or cotton buds or whatever you're planning on blending with. There we go. I think that's enough, she says, still continuing putting more because she doesn't think it's enough. It is enough. Walk away. No, don't walk away. If I walk away, then bye-bye life. I forgot to put the blending nibs up. I'm going to use a cotton bud. And so you want some dorso oil. So sponge. Must really treat myself to another sponge. Let me show you. Sponge, dorso oil, a drop, and here's my blending nibs. So I'm going to look for the brown one. So there's my brown one. And nib this, move that. Okay, so I'm going to touch it on, oopsie daisy. So just touch it on there and I'm going to blend this. So if I go over the felt pen, it does not matter because the felt pens are water soluble. So they're not going to react with the dorso oil. And you can see there, it's not blended very well. So I'm going to use my cotton bud to just blend it out a little bit, which it is not. There we go. It's so warm, even the oil is drying super fast. So I'm going to blend it a little bit at a time while the oil is while I can move the oil. Because I don't want a solid band anywhere. I want, you know, a nice blend with the paper. So I'm going over my felt pen, and because like I said, it doesn't matter, it's not going to react. So I'm not being overly careful going around each and every leaf. So I'm going to go around this side. So you can see I'm just blending this out in places so that I don't have like a solid outline. Everyone okay? And I like, you know, the color of the parchment itself coming through as well, rather than coloring the whole tag. I like that contrast. You may decide you want to color your whole panel or tag, you know, that's absolutely fine. But I like a bit of the actual parchment showing through. Even my oil is almost dry. It's like, how does oil dry that quickly is what I don't know. Oopsie daisy. Hold on, let me put that down. It's like silly trying to hold two things and then trying to do it properly, isn't it? I'm gonna just I've got some oil on the cotton bud itself as well, just because I got tired of holding two things. Only that's why. There we go. So have a look and see that there is no definite sharp sort of start-stop of your blending. And if there is, you know, get a bit of oil and blend it out. I'm not sure I like that there. There we go. And I think that is, oh, not under the light box. It's not very nice. Yeah, that works for me. Yes. Okay. I am going to actually, it doesn't work for me. I want to take some off here. So can you see pencils are really nice because I'm taking some of the color off because I want some of the parchment showing on this side. I'm just rubbing the extra oil off on a dirty kitchen towel. I mean kitchen roll. Use a clean kitchen roll piece, not like me. Just a finger will do. There we go. Yeah, I wanted a bit of the clear parchment showing here, so I just went ahead and took some of the color off. You know, Dorso oil and blend and the B pencils or Dorso crayons, they're very user friendly because you can put it on, you can take it off, you can put it on, you can take it off, and you can spend ages fiddling. Not a good thing if, you know, you're working to a certain time. So I should really stop fiddling. And if you're going to use your finger like I am, please do make sure your finger is clean. I know I haven't had anything like melty chocolate to eat and things, which I generally do. So my finger is clean for a change today. Okay, let's move that out of the way. And this out of the way. And what next? Let's Pico cut this out. So I'm going to use the super foam, Pico foam. If you're using it with the light wave, if you do your two needle perforations over the light box, you would only need your super foam and you would Pico cut like that. I tend to do my Pico cutting over an old one of these oopsie daisy, something went flying, one of the old ClarityStamp their very first embossing mats they had introduced with their kits. I don't use this for embossing. This is literally just for my perforating because I prefer to use this. It's not too soft. It, you know, I can be quite heavy with my tools, and I find I tend to break holes more often than not if I use, you know, the super foam with the Pico foam, so I just find this is more dense. It suits me better. But you know, if you're going to do this, then make sure you're not using your mat for embossing. Yes, just keep it separate for perforating on. So I'm going to use the bold 2-needle tool, and from the front I'm going to perforate in the various sections of, so I'm going to perforate in there, in there, in there, and around the outside. You know, something in my head is telling me I've forgotten to do something, and I'm not sure what it is, but I have forgotten to do something because it's only 3 o'clock, and I'm thinking, really? This is not normal. We will find out. So, fiddle. Right, so 2-needle tool, first 2 perforations. Hopefully you can see that. I have no idea where the camera is, but and then after that you're going to make 1 hole. You're going to go into the last hole with the first needle of the tool, hook it in, bring the tool upright, and perforate. Hook it in, upright, perforate. Hook it in, perforate. Hook it in, perforate. Bring it upright and perforate. And you're going to continue this to the corner there. And repeat the other side. There we go. And then this bit. And this teeny tiny one here. Now, do you know what? I shouldn't turn that. I should turn the paper because the mat doesn't fit that way around with the laptop getting in the way. So I should learn to turn the paper rather than everything. Now on this one, normally when I do points and scallops and things, what I generally tend to do is I know I want that as a neat, you know, going right into the corner. And I know I want this going right into the corner to make it nice and neat. So I do those points first. Yes, I didn't do that on the other 2 leaves, but I've done these leaves so many times that I know for me it fits perfectly. But generally where I want it neat and tidy, I tend to do that. And then for this, for example, my 2-needle is not going to fit perfectly. So I'm going to come in with my 1 needle and just make those extra holes. And then, so I've done all the perforations on the leaves on the inside. I'm going to perforate along the outside. So I'm going to start from here. So I'm going to come between there and there. And then continue around. Now, one of the advantages I find about using this mat is that I am not going so deep with my tool that I break the holes. But that means that I am making smaller holes. The hole sizes are smaller. So if you're just starting off, with your Pico cutting, you may want bigger holes to get used to using the scissors, in which case you would need to use the super foam. Yes, because you'll be able to push the needles down a little bit further to give you the bigger holes. So it does really depend on, what size holes would work better for you. Okay, so I've come around there, and like I said, when I'm doing scallops or anything that has sharp corners and things, I prefer to make those first because it gives me a nice sort of tight corner, if that makes sense. Yes, so I've got those in place, so I know when I Pico cut, those are going to be nice and tight into that corner. And then I'll come back, and so that one's too close to that one. Yes, don't know if you can see that. It's got closer, but you know, it's not going to matter. That is less likely to show than it will show in the corners. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. I prefer to have neater corners. So once again, it is a preference thing, isn't it? And then I'm going to follow it around. Have I gone off screen again? Suddenly my arm felt it was too far off. Sure, I can't get a Black Forest ghetto out of my head. It's really bad, isn't it? I'm really avoiding sweet stuff and chocolate and things. So while I'm doing this, a few things I need to mention. One of them is the next Facebook Live. The Facebook Lives I do are usually the second and fourth Saturday of the month. So the next one would be on... I did look it up, honest, except I've forgotten the date now. Is it the 26th or 29th or something like that? I don't know what that Saturday is. It's either 29th or 26th or anywhere in between. One of those dates. But I have Zentangle thing happening in the afternoon of that Saturday, which means, and that's at 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, which means I cannot do the Facebook Live at that time. 26th. Thank you, Carol and Tina. Gosh, it's so weird saying my own name. Hi, Sheila. So, yeah, so my Zentangle thing is, let me just have some water. It's 2 to 4 on the 26th, which means, you know, that is actually our Facebook Live time. I need to change that to either, so you have options. Either in the morning about 10 to 12-ish, 12:15-ish, we are always 2 hours plus, or 12:30, so 10 o'clock start, or 5 p.m. start, or delete. So I'm fine with either options. So if you have preferences, do put it in the comments, and when I read the stuff, I'll go along with whatever maximum people say. If you if there is no preference, basically I'll just go with whatever suits me, kind of thing. And I don't know what. I haven't decided as to what's going to suit me better, because I'm fine with either. But I think, you know, most of us are from the UK. It would be more for the international deities and time differences as to whether, you know, a certain time would suit them. So, okay, let's Pico cuts. Just put it in your comments and see what would work. And I'll go with that. I'm going to Pico cut. So my waist, scissors are going to go over the waist. This is the waist bit. This is the waist bit. And I'm not going to mark that on there. That's the waist bit. And on the outside, that's the waist bit. So scissors over the top of the waist bit, just the tips into the holes, and as I close them, pinch them closed, I'm twisting ever so slightly to my left, and I'm going to keep turning the parchment as I work around. I'm always twisting towards the previous cut. Oopsie daisy. And you know, for some of you, twisting your wrist may work. For some of you, it may not work. So you don't necessarily need to twist. If you get better picos without twisting, then that is absolutely fine. I'm holding my scissors with the curve up. It's going curve up. Some of you may prefer it this way around, and some of you may be using your pergo cutters. Now, I don't tend to, another thing, you know, a lot is recommended is putting your scissors in, dropping them, and then cutting and twisting. I don't drop my scissors. I literally put just the tips in and I cut. It's a little twist as I'm cutting. I don't drop them. The idea of dropping your scissors lower is so you can get the scissors as close to the paper as you can, but my wrist doesn't like that very much, so I don't do that. So it's again another thing, if you're new to Pico cutting, for you to try and see what works for you. So you can see I'm always turning my parchment round and have the scissors over the waist. Do you know what? I think the tag is calling out for glitter, isn't it? See, I said, knowing me, I will probably say I want to add glitter. So now this is my waist. That's the bit that's going to fall out. So now my scissors are going to be on the outside of that. And I'm going to cut along here. So just the very tips into the holes, and yeah, cut basically. And I'm always moving the parchment so that it, you know, it's comfortable for me at every point. And that's really important, because sometimes we do a lot of embossing, we do a lot of cutting, and you know, if after a while your wrist starts hurting, or you know, you're not in a comfortable sitting position, you stop enjoying the whole thing. So it's really important to keep it comfortable. And you know, like for example, on this straight bit, as I'm cutting along, I know I'll get to about this point, and although my angle is the same, suddenly my wrist is that much further away from me, so I will move the whole parchment closer to me. You know, it's the little things like those that will make a difference. If you're doing a lot of parchment. And also my eyesight is not that good, so the further I get away, the less I see. I'm sure a lot of you understand that one. Oopsie daisy, oopsie daisy. Missed a few. So I'm going to do all the ones that are at this angle at the same time before I turn my parchment a little bit. So I'm going to turn it a teeny tiny bit and do maybe the next couple. I could turn it at every cut, but it's better to handle the parchment less. So try and get into the habit of working all the holes that are in the same sort of direction at the same time. And here we go. So there we go. There is this tag. That's so pretty. So that tag is going to sit on this. So when I put it on there, I'm going to have a look and see, do I want to add remove a bit more color on this? But I actually quite like that. I don't think I want to remove any more color. If I remove too much color, it's going to end up being all completely white again, in which case I may as well have embossed it the other way around on the parchment. You know, the whole idea is to have the variation in the background here. And, you know, I quite like that. So I'm not going to use sandpaper to remove any more color on that. But it is really calling out for some glitter. I definitely think it's calling out for some glitter. So I'm going to put some glitter, and I'm just going to turn this around. I'm going to turn the light wave off because I don't need it. I'm going to use a quickie glue pen to put my glue on. If you want, you can use your sticky ink. Any idea which? Oh, plates. No idea, Jax, what I'm doing in 2 weeks. Absolutely zilch, zero, no idea. If you have any ideas, drop it into the comments. If there's something specific you want shown, drop it into the comments. Not something that takes hours and hours and hours to do, because we have to finish the tag kind of thing. But any small things you want to learn. So if there is any, you know, things, then and for anyone, if you have any ideas, just drop it into the comments and I'll see. Plates wise, no, I don't know. It just depends on what I feel like demoing. For this one specifically, I wanted to demo creating a background that is in the background as opposed to sort of in the forefront kind of thing. So I'm using a quickie glue pen to put my glue for my glitter because I'm feeling lazy. You may want to use your sticky ink and mapping pen. And I may need to find mine, as this does not want to flow. Come on. I'm hoping it's not dried in the conservatory. There we go. I mean, I'm a very lazy crafter, to be honest. So the glue pen is basically, you know, a bit like the sticky ink. You wait till it goes it goes clear, and then you add the glitter over the top, and it will, oopsie daisy, it will stick to where the glue is. And because I'm not looking to emboss anything that's very fine, I'm using the glue pen. If you wanted to, for example, put glitter on the stems or do very fine veins, you know, then sticky ink is definitely better, because you will be able to get really fine ink. I'm just putting on the top of these lines an extra dot, because I think we need more glitter. Well, I need more glitter. So having said I was not going to put glitter, I did. Okay, so you can see that's all glittered. I'm going to put it on the side, and it doesn't dry, it stays like that. So I'm going to do all my glittering all at the same time. So I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to put a little bit of glitter on this. Now on this one, it's this one here, and you can see I've put glitter inside the whole leaf, and that is so pretty. It reminds me of those glittered papers you get, and glittered glittered paper that you get, and I think it's just really pretty. Now a lot of this is going to be the tag itself, but because I am not sure what is going to be the tag, what part is going to be covered by the tag, I'm just going to go ahead and glitter inside all the leaves. I mean, you may not like so much glitter, so maybe, you know, maybe you may want to put just something like that, just like a vein kind of thing inside, if you're not a glittery person. And this I definitely need to make sure I don't put my hand on it, because it is going to smudge. You can see how wet this glue is. So I need to be super careful I don't get my sleeve and things on this glue, otherwise it's just going to smudge everywhere, which is not a bad thing, to be honest, because I'll just have even more glitter all over my tag. But I don't necessarily want it as a streak across my tag. So what I'll do is I will do a little bit, I will put the glitter over the top, and then do it in little stages so I don't smudge it. Can I get up here? There's this leaf here I need to do. You know, it's like, how much can I get done before I stop? How brave do I feel? Actually, it's not so much brave. A lot of the times I think, you know, it's just the temptation. And then it's when I make a boo-boo, I realize temptation is not always a good thing. Do you know what? I'm going to end up taking longer doing just the glitter than actually doing the rest of the techniques on this card. This was a very simple card. Tag, sorry. Very simple techniques on it, but it's ever so effective. And although on this one we've done a tag, you could, you know, do this on a card where you could create a background on your colored parchment and have it so that it's the glossy side is the front of your work, so it remains in the background. That way your main element remains your main element on your card. Okay, you know what? I am actually going to put the glitter on before I smudge it. Now, some of you probably have Perga glitter. I'm going to use the glitter I have in my glitter pot because I like my glitter pot. So I'm going to use that. If you have Perga glitter, you use that and tap off the extra. Now my glitter is not anti-static, so it is going to get absolutely everywhere, and I'm okay with that. If you are if you have a phobia about glitter, then the Perga glitter is anti-static and it's absolutely beautiful. It is so gorgeous. So that is what you need to look into, so you can still enjoy all the glitter. Now it's going to cling more. This glitter is going to cling more to this parchment because of the gloss on it. I'm just using a brush to rub off the extra. There we go. And let's get that little bit off. Okay, I need to put this. I should no, I will close it. I will close it. I was going to put it on top of something else, and then I thought, no, not a good idea. Oh, look, I missed a bit of glitter on there. Never mind. So I'm going to finish glittering this. I don't know. I mean, next, it's got me thinking for the next one what to do. Embroidery. I've done an embroidery one, Asma. Is that how I say your name? Asma? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I hope I pronounced it correct. I think it was tag number 3. It's on the page somewhere in the video section. I mean, I don't mind doing another embroidery one. I've got nothing against it. But I'm just saying, just in case you haven't seen that one, we did butterfly plants, or was it tag 4? It might have been tag 4 or 5, one of the tags. It's in the video section. But yeah, I love embroidery, and I can keep doing it over and over again. You know, this is taking me longer than I remember it took on the actual card itself. But I think this time round, I think this is going to be our shortest video so far, because we've finished all the main techniques. It's just putting the glitter, it's stitching the pieces together. That's why I'm thinking, do you know what? I've probably forgotten to do something, because it's not like, it's not normal for me, is it? Can I get a bit more before putting the glitter? how fast is time going? I mean, it's like almost half the year's already gone. In some ways it's slow, but in other ways I still can't believe half the year's almost gone. I don't know where it's gone, but it's gone. Yeah, I started off saying like, yeah, a few things I needed to mention. So one of them was the dates. I forgot again. Is it too early to think about Christmas? It's never too early to be thinking about Christmas. Ooh, Christmas embroidery plates. That's Asma and Jack's both embroidery things. And both embroidery and Christmas coming together. That sounds good. That's an idea. Can do. Yeah, the second thing is, I think most of you have read the post about me stepping down from the Clarity Design team. I'm still going to continue my workshops, for the moment at least, and I'm still going to be doing the Facebook Lives for the moment at least. So, you know, it's not like I'm disappearing or anything into the big wide world out there. I'm still around and I'm still like demonstrating and stuff, parchment stuff and things. So, you know, panic not me. I'm saying panic not to me because I've got so much glitter on here, sorry. And I'm thinking, did I get glue somewhere where I didn't want it to? That's the first thought that went into my head, is I streaked the glue or something. Okay, so yeah, basically I'm still around and I'm still doing various demos and things on here and through my Zoom classes and all that kind of thing. So the only thing I will say though is I am not in any of the worldwide groups anymore. So if you do your tags and workshops and things, I mean, for the workshops, I've got a separate group anyway where I will see all your work. But if you're doing tags, for example, please, please, please either put them on my own main page so I can see them, if you remember, so I can see them, or, you know, if you're putting it on your own personal pages, then just tag me so at least I can see it. Otherwise, I'm not going to see it, and that would be a shame because I would really love to see it. I have no issues with you posting them on my own personal page, you know, for me to have a look. I am absolutely fine with that. And I would love to see them. So, yeah, that was another thing that's what I wanted to mention, is that, you know, if you post them just on Clarity Worldwide or Groovi Worldwide, I'm not going to see them, sorry. Unless you don't want me to see them, then that's a different thing, really. Okay, so how do we attach this to this? Options, you have got the brads option. You can put brads through your flower centers if you so wish. And if you do that, you know, take your base. So my base is just going to be just a plain white one. And you can see by putting a white one there, how the background has gone even further into the background. And I quite like that. If I had a darker, so on this one, I've got black as my background. And if I chose black, then the background stands out a bit more. Yes, so it really depends on which look you prefer. That's going to be absolutely your choice. But you can see the other thing is that as soon as you put it on the black background, the parchment color looks a little bit more duller than when you put it on a lighter base, where this is really bright. Yeah, so it's a trade-off as to whether you want the groovy part of it, the embossing part of it, to stand out more, in which case, you know, you go for a darker base, or whether you want the parchment to appear brighter and have the background even more muted. For this one, I'm going to do it this way because I quite like the softness of this. So that's what I'm going to do. So if you were going to use brads, you were going to do it this way, and you would just put it through the 3 flower centers or 4 flower centers, through the parchment, through the backing, and then once you've put the brads, you would just, you know, cover the backings of the brad with another piece. I am going to actually stitch it in place, she says, not knowing where she put the stitching stuff. Bear with me, it's all under here. I'm going to stitch beads for my flower centers, 3 of my flower centers, or 4 or 3 flower centers. And so I'm going to get my thread. It doesn't matter what thread because it's not going to show with the bead. So I'm just going to go with whatever's come into my hand. You don't want it very long, maybe about 30 centimeters. So I'm going to just get, this is a silver one only because that's what came in my hand. So I'm going to have my thread, my needle, I could do Christmas anytime. Yeah, I like Christmas. I love Christmas. But I always forget about, you know, preparing for Christmas cards and things like Christmas presents right up to the last minute. Carol, I'm using the ones that you get from ClarityStamp, the Madeira ones. So you get them in metallic. So this is a metallic silver. This is like really pretty. It's just so pretty. But this one is available from ClarityStamp as well. I think, are you in America, Carol? I think you're in America, or am I thinking of another Carol who's in America? This one is sort of one of the silky ones, but again, it's a Madeira. So I'm using those because, but any thread would work, you know, for what I'm doing here. Any of the threads will work, and I cannot see without my glasses. I don't know why I took my glasses off, but I did. Okay, so I'm going to thread my needle. Now when I'm threading my needle, I prefer to have something lighter underneath me so I can see the eye of the needle. So I'm going to turn my light wave on, and you know, I don't know if you can see that. Let me move it along. I can see where fiddlesticks. So I can see where the eye of my needle is, and I will, oh, come on. I'm usually really good with this, not today. Today it doesn't want to go. Like, really? I'm sure anyone who's done a stitching workshop with me will be able to confirm I've always threaded a needle first go, except today. And we threaded our needle plenty of times during the stitching workshop. There we go, finally. Oh, it's sticky at the top. I've got gunk at the top. It's not even going through, look. It's not going through. It's sticky at the top. Oh, well. Oh, no. Look what I did. Look what I did. Look, it came off. And I lost the needle. Life is so entertaining, seriously. Where's the needle? Anyone see my needle? Oh my gosh, what did I do with the needle? Oh, it's on my lap. I'm going to change it because this one is like sticky at the top. So the needles I have are from Clarity as well. The threads are from Clarity as well. So here we go. Let's hope this is a cleaner needle. Do you know what I did? Because the needles were all falling out, I stuck all of them together with masking tape. Bad idea. Bad idea. Because it's made them all really sticky. There we go. This one was a not so sticky one. Phew. I found the red thread. You just showed. Yeah, the red thread is a little bit harder to use because it's a bit more pulley, elasticy. It sort of stretches. So, you know, you have to be a little bit more careful with it. And also it's a little bit thicker. So, because it's thicker, it's really hard to thread on these needles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the various pieces together to hold them in place. Now you can use masking tape if you so wish to stick all the bits together. I'm not going to do that. I am going to use paper clips and just a folded piece of paper to help keep things together, because on this piece especially, because I have got so much glitter, I don't want the masking tape to take my glitter off. So I've just got a folded piece of paper. What that will do is it will protect the two pieces and the emboss work on there. It will just protect it a little bit. So I'm just going to, so you can see I'm just sandwiching my parchment, and that might be too long. I'm just sandwiching it. There we go. Okay, now this I need to decide, do I want it in the, obviously, you know, my stitching is going to be under there. This is just to protect it here. So I'm putting it under there just to position it. Do I want it on the side? Do I want it in the middle? Do I want it this side? That's absolutely up to you. I think I'm going to have it on this. I'm going to have it on one side. So I'm just going to slide it. No, I'm not going to slide it. I'm going to take this off again. Oh, bear with me. And I'm going to put this one here like this. I want it on the side because I want a wider band there. So I'm going to just get it straight. So I'm just making sure it's straight along here. I'm going to bring this back. Do I have a smaller one? That's too long. I don't want it so long. That's smaller. So I'm going to sandwich those pieces together. And I'm going to bring this, and that's going to hold everything together for me while I stitch my beads. So to make the holes, I'm going to use a 1 needle fine tool. So I'm just going to put one in the middle of the flower centers. Well, not quite in the middle from the look of that one. And I'm ready to stitch. You're going to need either some red liner tape or masking tape or something to stick the thread down at the back. So this is my bead box, my lovely happy box, and I have to decide what color beads I want. I'm going to go with, I think, silver. Yeah, let's go with silver. So I need 4 beads. Oh, I can't close it. Never mind. So my thread. So starting from the back, your barking dogs would drive me mad. Yeah, the neighbor. I didn't notice actually. I guess you get used to any sound, don't you? So on the back, and why is it not going through? Has it moved? hold on, I hope my tag's not moved to, it has moved. Okay, my tag has moved. I should have used a bigger. Okay, that's in place. Just make sure it's in place. Yeah, I'm just going to put another paper clip because my tag moved a little bit and I don't want it moving as I'm stitching. So a bigger paper clip is called that. That's a huge paper clip. I love that paper clip. Okay, from the back. So there we go. Bring the thread to the front, needle to the front, leave a tail, and get some masking tape or red liner tape, double-sided tape, anything that's strong enough to hold the thread down. So I'm just going to just squidge that about, make it nice and flat, and make sure it's really taped down well. Turn it over, and I'm going to pick up a bead. Yes, so I've picked up a bead. I'm going to bring it to the base, and I'm going to go over the, I'm going to leave the bead there and go back down into the same hole. And what that will do is that will anchor the bead in place. If you were using sequins, you would have picked up the sequence, the bead, then gone through the sequence and the same hole, and that will anchor the bead. But because my sequins are quite big, they cover most of this design, so I didn't use a sequence this time. Otherwise, you know me and sequins, any excuse to use it. So I jumped into the next hole, and I repeat. So the next one is under here. So I'm going to move that out of the way. So the next one is this one here. So on the back, I'm going to bring it to the top there. And from the front, pick up a bead and back into the same hole. Just make sure when you pull the bead across, when you anchor the bead, it's nice and sort of, there's no loose, the thread is not loose. Otherwise the bead will keep flopping about on the front. So make sure you've pulled the thread quite tight. Oopsie daisy. And there we go. Yeah, yep, that's good. So to finish off the thread, once again, that's not tight. There we go. I'm just going to finish it off with some masking tape again. And I'm just going to, there we go. Take these off, take these off. Okay, and just stick this down. Make sure it's nicely stuck down, and let's not lose the needle. Where's my scissors gone? So I'm going to take, don't cut the wrong bit of the thread. There, that bit. I'm just going to put my needle on my, oh, see, I knew I would drop it. There you go. I've just got a bit of magnet on my needle box. That's just going to keep it in place until I clear up. Otherwise, the number of needles I've lost and then walked on, it's amazing. So you can see this looks pretty messy, and we do need to stitch through the card, you know, from the parchment through to the card on the back. If we had just these two layers, just the two parchment layers, you would see the masking tape and the thread zigzagging. So it's really important when you do your stitching, you do it, you know, through the backing card as well. And then because that looks messy, it needs a second layer to cover that mess. So I've kept, you know, this tag ready, and I've just put tape on there. Actually, that was not right because I know I'm not going to get it straight. And being red liner tape, I am not going to be able to get it off either. So let's start just at the top and then take it off. The number of times I take all sides off and then put it down and it's completely crooked. Oh, get off me. Static. So this way. So if I stick it down there, make sure, yep, the holes have matched up. And now I can lift this side. Oh, the other way around. This side. Come on. It was easy enough to take you off earlier. Must be painful watching me do this. Anyone out there feel like coming in just doing this bit for me? Because it must be so painful to watch. Okay, there you go. I just wanted to keep it from closing shut, but okay, almost there. There we go, and there we go. There's our tag. And to finish it off, a bit of ribbon. Oh, really, like really. I'm going to blame the clumsiness on the heat. That's what I'm going to do. And a glittery ribbon. Because we cannot have enough glitter. There we go. So there's the tag. And yeah, the purple and the brown really did work out. I was like really worried at some point that is it going to work out or not. I've lost one tag somewhere here. I have no idea where it is. Hello tag, where are you? Tag? Tag! I'm sorry, I cannot find one of the tags. It's kind of lost. It's not even on the floor. How can you lose a whole tag? And I've lifted everything up. This is so sad. Like seriously? Oh, it's here. I found it. I feel better. I found it. There you go. Okay. So we've got, so these two were similar, and yeah, there we go. So these two are the ones with the, let me bring it. These two are the ones where I sandpapered slightly over the top, which I quite like the look of, you know, the paper itself and a little bit of sanding to bring the whiteness. Then it all sort of sits together really nice with the white on the tag and a little bit of whiteness on the background, you know, and I think that looks really pretty. And then these two, have the same plate for the background, but this one is where we embossed, you know, from the back, but this one is debossed, so all the embossing is all inwards, and that's why there is this dip in the paper itself. So it's something you may want to try. It's absolutely up to you. And then this one was how we would traditionally do it, so that our white work is on the front, the background, you know, traditionally that's what we would do. But I feel that for a background, it is competing with my tag. So that's why I preferred, you know, one of these alternatives to this. But you may like this one, which is absolutely fine. But like I said, I look forward to seeing what all of you create. I still have spaces for my multi-needle tool. If anyone is still interested, message me. So these are some of the samples. This is what we are going to create in the multi-needle workshop, which is next week over Zoom, next Saturday. So message me if you're interested for that one, and I will send you details. And like I said, you know, if, oh look, on these ones I didn't put in the middle, I just glittered the middle. On this one I've put a bead. Now I'm not sure which one I prefer. Anyway, I got distracted. Yeah, like I said, you know, once you do your tags, I would absolutely love to see them. And you can either post them on this page itself, my creative coaching page, or you can post your tags on my personal page. And if you're posting it on your own pages, then do tag me so that I can find it and I can see it. And I would love to do that, because I'm sure everyone's used very different things. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will have a look and see for the 26th whether I'll do it in the morning or whether I'll do it in the afternoon. I'll let you know, and I'll definitely sort out what I want to do for the 26th. I think Christmas sounds like a good plan, and the Christmas embroidery plates sounds like fun as well. So I might do that. So if you have the Christmas embroidery plates, you know, let's do that. Yeah. I don't know what else I'll use with it. I might just stick to that because embroidery takes a bit. I'll see. I'll have a plate. No, I have plenty of plates. I'll have a play and see. But we'll stick to the Christmas embroidery plates for the next one. So you may have time, if you don't have any, to have a look on the Clarity website and, you know, maybe purchase one or two. One with a small element. Only because there's only so much you can. Mind you could always do a bigger tag, so it doesn't matter, I guess. I'm not thinking straight. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, and have a lovely afternoon or rest of the day if you're in a different part of the world, or if you're just getting ready to go to bed. Then good night, sleep tight, and take care. Bye everyone.